I'm at Sage Days 70 right now in Berkeley, California. A bunch of developers of Sage from Europe, a whole bunch of undergraduates from University of Washington, and many local people are together working on Sage development this week. While at the Sage Days, one of the events we did during the week was we went out to the RethinkDB meetup in San Francisco, and I gave a talk talking about how RethinkDB is used in Sage Math Cloud. It's the main database that we use, and it was extremely exciting explaining to the RethinkDB developers and a large group of enthusiastic users of RethinkDB how we're making use of their databases. During the Sage Days, one of the projects was to interview developers and users of Sage and Sage Math Cloud. For example, we interviewed Ken Ribet, who is a professor at UC Berkeley. In fact, was the person that got me personally into computational mathematics. Also, we interviewed Albert Nie, who was one of the first 5 employees at Dropbox and built their company over many years to have thousands of employees. So he shared many, many insights about how to build the culture of a startup company. We discussed a lot some of the unique ways in which a company could be built around mathematical software. He was also a mathematics major at MIT, so he has a lot of experience with mathematics as well. We've also interviewed numerous Sage developers like Harold Schilly, who lives in Vienna, Austria, and has been working on the Sage project for about 8 years as our main webmaster, and he's heavily involved in Sage Math Cloud development and operations and design. We interviewed Jason Grout, who works at Bloomberg and has worked also on Sage for a long time as a PhD in mathematics doing combinatorics, and has worked on Sage as well. We interviewed Sylvain, who works at Bloomberg. We interviewed Fernando Perez, founder of the IPython project. He shared lots and lots of thoughts about how IPython and in general open source software is relevant for science and scientific research and reproducibility and so on. So we also got to interview Vivienne Pons from France, who has made a lot of use of Sage Math Cloud and Sage in both her research and her teaching, and has enthusiastically given big talks about Sage Math Cloud at Python meetups and so on. We also interviewed Jeroen Demeyer, who was the release manager of Sage for many, many years. He's a Belgian who has worked a lot on open source software like Paris. As you can tell, we have many, many Sage workshops. Some are very oriented at developers and contributors. Others are much more oriented towards people teaching college courses and general users of Sage. If you're interested in going to a Sage Days workshop, write to me personally, wstein@sagemath.com. Write to the Sage Develop mailing list. We have a wiki page where we post lists of Sage Days workshops as they're coming up. They happen all over the world. In a typical year, there'll easily be 10 or more Sage Days workshops. If you're interested in organizing a Sage Days workshop, get in touch with me. We have a page which explains a lot of the sort of key things that you need to do to make it a really good experience.